Welcome to another episode of the Rational Football League show. My name is Emmett Swart. I'm with my co-host Brendan Ford. A little backstory about us. We are former college teammates. I'm a defensive end that converted to receiver. He is a safety slash outside linebacker. And B, let's hop right into it. This week was schedule release week. Who do you think had the best release video?
That's actually tough, man. There's a lot of teams out there who put a lot of effort into this thing, and it's kind of weird because I don't remember this schedule release stuff being like a big deal, right? I remember just going on like Twitter and just seeing like the Bears schedule. I'm like, cool. Uh, you know what I mean? And then there's so many like leaks that came out throughout the day too. So I don't know what the NFL was planning because they planned for like 7 p.m. Central for all the schedules to be officially,
Yeah, I think
released.
they gave a couple of networks. I think I saw it was like CNN, Fox, and Good Morning America. I got like a couple of games they got to release early to try to drum up some. Maybe they're releasing a little bit
Some like
south of
drama
the
out
day.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the NFL. It was just the NFL's goal a few years ago. Is they were trying to go more towards that 12-month sport. It's every month it's something. It's this month it's the schedule release. Last month it's the draft. Next month I think you have OTAs starting.
All OTAs.
So
Yep.
yeah, you get to OTAs, you get to fall camp, then you get right into it. But of all the fun release videos we saw today and yesterday, which one? You gotta give me one.
I'm gonna give you Chargers, man. The Chargers one went
As an anime
crazy.
fan, I knew it.
The anime fan one. The first clip is Justin Herbert with his like rocket arm. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, what? And every like scene, like every little clip, there's so many Easter eggs with them. I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, like the effort and the whole creative touch was just crazy.
Yeah, I had to go through and like pause on each scene. I was like watching because I saw someone comment like, "Oh, I love the detail of the birds flying to oh my god, what's the Vikings stadium? The US Bank
US Bank.
Stadium."
Yep.
Yeah, and I was like, after that, I was like, I went back and rewatched each one. I was like, oh my god, there's so many like little details in the background of it. I'm trying to remember one off the top of my head that really caught my eye. I think it was, oh my gosh, was it for the? I think it was for the Dolphins. Where it was in the background. Like, it was. Well, we'll go back and rewatch it again and talk about some more. But
I think you're talking about the Dolphins. I think was like the first or second week, and
yeah,
Mike McDaniel's hitting the damn vape.
yeah, or like with the Raiders, like the little QR code. If you scanned it, it actually pulled up the
Oh
game.
yeah, that was so bogus.
Yeah. Or the Lions one where if you have a gambling addiction.
Yes, bro, that was wild. And they actually sprinkled in like other like anime characters and theme into their
Yeah,
like
like I know
videos.
for the Packers when they did that one, it was in the hyperbolic time chamber and it was supposed to be like the darkness retreat for Aaron Rodgers. And when
Yeah.
they flashed up behind him, they had some what was it? Oh my gosh. Like they had some news article clippings behind. Oh, it was like make sure you make your ashwagandha
Oh
and
yes,
make sure to do
yes.
your own research. Like I said, just like the little details and touches they put into it, I thought was fantastic.
There was like Hunter
Uh
Hunter in there, Attack on Titan in there. It
yeah.
was fucking dope.
Disappointed they didn't. I don't think they had any Naruto in there. A little disappointed about that. Oh no,
I
they
don't think
did.
so.
They
Did
did
they?
because
Oh
towards the
yeah.
end, the Chargers were in Akatsuki stuff with
Yeah.
the lightning
Yep.
with the Chargers
Yep.
symbol right
You're
across.
right.
So they did include a little bit of Naruto. So
I
fantastic
love
effort.
it. I love it.
Uh, More of a cowboy kind of dude myself, so I had to go with the Tennessee Titans. It does help. I just came back from Nashville from Broadway, but just what a hilarious, like how confident those girls were about the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys.
It's a
Cowboys.
cult.
And then they tried to, if you watch it, they go back and rewatch it, they show them another symbol, and they immediately said it's the Cowboys again.
They're like, it's the cowboy hat, there's a horseshoe,
Every
there's
team's the
whatever.
Cowboys.
It has to be a cowboy at some point.
Yeah, some of them were
No.
close, like the Texans, I think was one. The Boston Bengals was hilarious. The Pirates of
The
the
Boston
Caribbean.
Big.
It
The
was
Pirates,
Boston
the
Broncos.
islands. There's talking about the Bucks and the Pirates and the
Yeah.
islands of the Caribbean. It's like what?
I know that
No, that one was awesome too.
yeah, that had to be what I thought was hilarious. Again, I might be a little biased because I just came back from Broadway, but I mean that one killed me. I think they said they were on there for 5 hours. I know they talked about on the Pat McAfee show, and I know that the team behind it, the media team behind it, released earlier like, oh, at least it was worth it because it had like 90 million views or something.
Yeah,
But
no, it was golden, bro.
getting a little more into the schedule specifically, what game are you looking forward to most as a Bears fan, and
The
why?
hard hitting questions here. I think after looking at their schedule, I mean, it's without a doubt. If you're a Bears fan, you're not excited for this game, then you're not really a Bears fan. Week 1, home against the Packers. Jordan Love is coming into town. Like that's all it is. Like it
Okay.
that this game makes or break in my part like the whole season. This sets this sets the tone. This is how serious it is,
What if
bro.
you go 15-1 after, or 16-1 out? You beat the Packers the second time.
That's fair.
Still,
That's fine.
no, I was kidding.
That's fine.
Well, I mean, more legitimate, but you do bring up a good point. You know, there's obviously a huge rivalry with the Bears and the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, who has owned Green Bay or owned Chicago since he's been there, no longer there. Jordan Love gets, you know, his first full season as you're the dude. How do you feel if you lose that game?
Well, that's why I said it sets the whole tone. Like, because that's what everyone's been saying. That's like the whole mindset with the Bears fan base is like the bad man is gone, right? Devontae Adams been gone, but he's also now gone to new quarterback in there. So they're like, oh, this is our time. This is finally we can come in there. We can like we can beat them now. So if like honestly, if Jordan Love and the Packers roll into Chi-Town and beat us, like it's going to be like ground zero all over again.
Ground zero.
Yeah.
I do want to remind you and all Bears fans, and honestly, quite frankly, all NFL fans watching this, that week 1 through about week 4 is a wonky time in the NFL. You do have teams coming together. You have new coordinators, new players, rookies just getting their feet wet. They're overhyped for week 1. Dudes been waiting to hit each other for weeks. They want to just see someone else not in the same color of the jersey. I mean, I remember last year when the 49ers played the Bears, I thought for sure, slam dunk win, move on, don't think twice about it. And it was a monsoon game that we ended up losing. And it actually hurt us with seating positioning later in the season. So it's all Bears fans, don't get too heartbroken if you lose this one. Now, if you lose the second one and get blown out,
yeah,
ground zero, go ballistic, call for people's heads and whatever else you need to do. But
that's fair.
I think for myself, the game I was most excited for definitely had to be week 8 versus Cincinnati. Now, I know for a lot of people in the 49ers community, they probably have Philadelphia circled, week 13. They probably have Seattle circled. For me, I just think Cincinnati is going to be a fun game. We don't get to see Cincinnati very often. They're in the AFC. They're a star-studded team with Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd. And, oh my gosh, who's the other receiver they have out there?
You said Chase, Boyd, and then Higgins.
Sorry to Higgins. I apologize for getting you guys have so many great players. It's hard to remember.
Sorry, T.
I mean, also, I think they still have Joe Mixon out there. So, I mean, they just have a star-studded team. It's going to be fun to watch. If the 49ers offense gets going like they did towards the end of last year with Purdy in, I mean, it could be a whole, fireworks show going on, just back and forth. So I think that's the one I'd be most excited for. I'm going to roll that right into the next one for a game I'm least excited for as a 49ers fan. That is going to actually be week 13 against Philadelphia.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm not scared of Philadelphia. Like I have confidence we could beat them. But it's a concern for me because whenever there's two teams that really hate it, really going at it, the fans hate each other, the teams hate each other, you get just the most anxiety about that. You can't look past it anymore. You start just thinking about it. It's at week 13. It's late in the year. So it's going to be a cold game. It's in Philadelphia. How's the team perform when it's cold? Who's going to be healthy by then? Do we talk all this shit and then the smack and then we get to we're gonna have to probably bleep that. We talk all this smack and then we get to Philadelphia and we're down to our 6th string quarterback again. What do we look like when we actually show up to Philadelphia? And to cap it off, as if it wasn't bad enough that it's going to be a potential rivalry game. I don't know what the 49ers situation is with being good and hating teams with bird logos, but it seems to be a thing. But they are smashed. It's smashed right between 2 games against the Seahawks, who we also hate. We have a tough game where we have to go up to Seattle for Thanksgiving. Then we go from there to Philadelphia to play another freaking bird logo of a team that we hate. Then we go right back home to play freaking Seattle again. So
that's tough.
Yeah, that's a tough, brutal part in the year. We'll see how it goes, but that's probably the one that's going to keep me up all week that week, just thinking about what's going to happen. How does this play out? Can we just get this game over with?
And where's it at? Where's it at?
It's going to be
15.
at Philadelphia. It's December 3rd.
Mm,
It's going to be in cold ass, rainy ass
yeah.
Philadelphia in another hostile environment where their fans will be throwing eggs at our fans again. It's going to be loud. It's going to be
Philly
rowdy.
fans are a different breed,
Oh,
bro.
they are different. I didn't even realize it. Like you
They
hear
are.
like Boston fans, you hear about New York fans, and I don't know if they've just gotten lost in the shuffle because they've been called the city of brotherly love, but
There
mean.
ain't no love
are,
there, bro.
No, there is none. The city of
All love
non-brotherly
lost.
love.
Yep.
It's the city of we hate you, don't come near us. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Uh,
For sure, though.
I'm sure I'm not going to be able to go to Philadelphia anyway. So, but I hear they have great cheesesteaks. As
The
a Bears
best.
fan, what game are you like? Can we just move past this? What game is on your mind? Are you dreading?
The game as a Bears fan that's
Don't say week 1 against the Packers.
Yeah, I'm about to say week 1. No, it's definitely week 3. I mean, it's not much weight to it, but we played the Chiefs in Kansas City. It's gonna be that's the reason why it's gonna be like a nightmare. I mean, it's gonna be one of those games. It's gonna be ass whooping or butt whooping if you are PG-13. It's gonna be one of those games. It's gonna be a 21-0 halftime. Hopefully it's a little bit better than that. But looking at their schedules, that's probably the most dreaded game besides maybe when we go to LA to play the Chargers. I mean, that's another tough one. Yeah. So looking at their schedule now,
rivalry games for you guys. Rivalry games don't keep you up at all.
They don't. We'll talk about this in a second, but I don't fear the division as much this season.
Well, I mean, with the division the way it is, you got the Vikings that just traded away Za'Darius Smith to Cleveland. They just were informed Dalvin Cook that he's going to be released.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the division is looking a lot weaker. I mean, the Lions didn't make too much improvements, but they were always a strong team as an up-and-coming team last year. And Packers, we don't know what we're going to get.
Who knows?
They still got a good defense. They still got a good running game, but a lot's going to really hinder their season on, Jordan Love and what that receiving core and tight end core becomes. What is your early prediction for the Chicago Bears? What's your floor? What's your ceiling? Are they Super Bowl bound? Are they first round pick bound? What are you thinking?
There's going to be a team of the ages. No, I'm playing.
Better than the 85 Bears.
This is going to be better than
85
the 85 Bears.
who?
72 Dolphins. Who? Yeah, exactly. So best case and worst case, I think there are a couple core games here that we are going to lose and win no matter what. Like I kind of already touched on that. So like the Chiefs away week 3, we're going to lose that game. Chargers week 8, we play there. We're going to lose that game. I think that we're going to split the series between the Lions and Vikings. So I think the Bears could probably sneak a couple of dubs when the Vikings, Lions go to our place, right? And then best case scenario is now remember, it's the best case scenario. Okay. I have a sweep in the Packers just because we don't know what they're going to be yet. We start the season with them, and then we bookmark the season with them.
This is going to age so poorly if Jordan Love comes out hot and looking like
for sure. Well, that's just nature of like the beast though, because we don't know. Like our
prediction is no better than if you asked a corgi shooting basketballs down a staircase.
That corgi knows stuff. I'm gonna start using like the corgi to make my like sports bet stuff.
That man needs to put numbers in front of the staircase, and whatever numbers he puts in there, just go right to the store, get a lottery ticket, fill them numbers in, and just cash it when it rings out. Because I mean that corgi definitely can prophesize some things. I did see one funny comment about that too. Just I'm sorry to divert from this.
No, you're good. No, that corgi is like probably the best thing on the web. So
someone commented, "What if this really was an all-knowing corgi, and the only way it could communicate is with this basketball, and it can foretell the ending of the world?" And it's sitting here like, I wish I could tell them, but I could just tell them who's gonna win this game. They're not asking me the right questions.
This corgi just like God. Like he did.
It's an
knows everything.
Corgi.
That's funny. That's so funny. I can definitely see it, but
you going back, omnipotent corgi. That's
I can. Why not? Like who said the corgi can't? Yeah, exactly. Going back to the record stuff. So remember, this is best case scenario. So obviously, best case,
right?
Assuming Packers are not like assuming Jordan Love is not like another Hall of Fame quarterback, like maybe we could sweep them this season. But okay, so whatever. So best case scenario. Remember, guys, best case.
Right.
I have the Bears going 11-6 with losses to the Chiefs, Chargers, the Saints, Lions, Vikings, and Browns. A lot of these games can be toss-ups too. Yeah. Like the Browns, I feel like can be a toss-up. The Saints, I feel like could be a toss-up, right? And then I have them beating for sure. Even like the Broncos. I don't know for sure. Broncos could be tough. The Broncos are coming to Chicago week 4. I said they're going to win that game. I said that they're going to beat the Bucks because they might be one of the worst teams this season. I have them beating the Raiders at home, which could be toss up too. But remember, this is also best case stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then have them beating the Cardinals again. Like, is Murray even healthy right now? He will be healthy at that point in the season. Who knows?
I think they said he'll be back week 5 or week 6 was the expectation.
So maybe he gets dinged up. No, I'm playing.
Maybe he's just not available.
And then we played the Falcons at home, and then again we end the season with the Packers. Hopefully we sweep them there.
So and then best case 11-6, worst case
best case 11-6, worst case I have them going 7-10, with a split with the Packers, right? Actually sweeps from the Lions and the Vikings, and then have us beating the Bucks, Broncos, Commanders, Panthers on Thursday Night Football, Cardinals, and Falcons.
And I do want to apologize to anyone that's listening to this on Spotify. We will have this graph posted up. B did a great job of taking the schedule and highlighting what he thinks is going to be wins and losses. So to our video audience, you'll be able to see that. To our Spotify audience, I'm sorry, tune into us on YouTube when you have time, or we are on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter.
And give us a follow and like while you're at it.
Yeah, give us a follow and like while you're at it. If you like what we say, if you don't like what we say, give a follow and like, as well as what Cat Williams used to say. If you ain't got no one to hate on, you can hate on us.
Facts. But the headline is, I think best case 11-6, worst case 7-10. To probably fall somewhere in that middle.
Okay. I like that. Solid, hopeful range there of 7 and what is that, 7-10 versus 11-6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it as clear color coded for the 49ers because, again, I mean, this is a crapshoot. I mean, I don't know if Purdy's going to be healthy to start the year. I don't know how Trey Lance is going to look to start the year. We have a new defense coordinator, Steve Wilks. He's going to be in the booth. He announced that today in his interview. I don't know how that plays out in the Shanahan era. They've always had their defensive coordinators on the field. I know as a player, when I had my defense coordinator on the field, it helped me because whenever I picked up little tidbits on, hey, I noticed when they're doing this. I noticed when they're calling out this, ram call. I know they're bringing a wham block back on me. I can immediately just relay that to the defensive coordinator in between plays. When they're up in the booth, I don't know if he's getting that same information as quickly. You might need to wait till the series is over to really get that information.
Yeah.
All things like that can really play a toll. The cohesion between it, to the team figuring out. We got a couple of rookies that might be playing some decent snaps. We have a new right tackle. So that's why mine's a little bit, not as concrete on where I think specifically wins and losses might come from. Because we have the talent to beat any team. Like we know that. I know that and feel confident in saying we have the talent. It's about, do we beat ourselves? What do we look like in week 1 through 4? As I mentioned previously, that monsoon game against the Bears last year. Last year, I'm sure a lot of 49er fans would like to forget this part. I think we started out 3-4 before we rattled off. I think it was 10 straight wins or 11 straight wins. I mean,
I think so. Yeah.
So, what are the odds? If we're looking at Pittsburgh's, I think 15-2 in their last whatever it was, home games that they started the season out at home. Mm-hmm. They're 15-2. Then we go to the Rams. They're going to be healthy. Kupp's going to be back. Stafford's going to be back. I don't know what the rest of that team's going to look like, but I know those two are a lethal combo. Then we get to the Giants. Are they the same team or do they progress? Arizona, that's probably a win. We could probably
easy dub. Yeah. Easy dub.
I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry, Arizona fans. You guys probably don't like our thing and not going to watch it anyway. That's okay. Arizona fans don't exist. The Cowboys, that's going to be, again, I know there's a lot of large portion of the 49 fans that hate the Cowboys. It's going to be a heated rivalry game. It's going to be, I believe it's on Sunday Night Football. Have we figured it out yet? How do we look? I know we look good in primetime games before, but against Dallas, what team shows up? So I think they do get their stuff figured out probably by the Cincinnati game going into that bye week in week 9. And I think they do finish strong. So my prediction is at best, if they start off hot, use the break to rest, recover, and finish the season strong, I think they can go 14-3.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to have those wonky games. Who knows? Philly could be a toss-up. Dallas could be a toss-up. They might not split the Rams. I think we're 10-0 in the last 5 seasons, regular season.
Yeah,
games.
they might sweep them.
Might just sweep them again. But Seattle might get us. They're an up-and-coming team last year. The games were close and competitive against Seattle. The games are always close and competitive against Seattle. I don't know what magic oh my gosh, Pete Carroll has up there in Seattle for his
he is magic.
I know. I mean, what's frustrating? He's from San Francisco. I didn't even realize that. They said last year during a game we were playing, it was like, oh yeah, Pete Carroll was from San Francisco. He was on the staff in 94 or 95 before taking this job with with the Patriots. I was like, what the fuck is his problem with us then? Why you gotta hate us? What the fuck?
You guys are like good. This rivals,
We raised you. You can't.
We raised you. Yeah.
What the hell is this, man? But no, I'm just kidding. They got a good up and coming team. I mean, that's just the reality. This year or next year, that Seattle 49er rivalry is going to be back, and it's going to be stronger, just as strong as ever. So 14-3 is my best. At worst, 10-7.
Yeah,
and that might be somewhere closer on. They might go 11-6, maybe 12-5. But if they go worse than 10-7, that means that there's been some drastic major injury. Purdy didn't heal right. Lance has been a bust. Sam Darnold looks
all
like
your quarterbacks got hurt again.
Yeah, Debo's out, Brandon's out, whatever it is. So, if we go worse than 10-7, that means we've had another 2020 season, and 49er fans remember that trauma of half the team's injured on turf or something, which we do play the Giants, I believe, at home, and I don't believe we play the Jets. So hopefully no crappy turf fields, but hopefully a season with somewhere closer between 12-15, 12-5 there.
I actually forgot to tell you this during our previous show. I looked at NFL.com. They released their AI generated predictions for records. They have the 49ers at 10.9 wins. So let's call that 11. No, why they did it round.
I think it's what Vegas says. I think Vegas had us at 10-5, but Vegas has us literally favored in every game this year. So,
yeah, I mean, you guys should. Yeah, you guys are really, really good. The Niners are a solid squad.
Yeah. So
they have the Bears at 8 wins. So it kind of falls in the range ahead. 7.
Okay, so
more close. Yeah.
It's good to know we're still living up to our rational part of our rational football show name. We're not going crazy here and going, the Niners are going to go 17 wins, or the Bears are making the Super Bowl. So
we're not just hopeless like homers. And again, guys, I want to stress you all, when we talk about best case, it's more hopeful stuff. I think
that's, again, we have no inside information. We are not future. We're not that omnipotent corgi. I can't see the future.
We're not the guy corgi.
we're not worshiping at the deity of the corgi here. So we don't know what could happen. So, but again, based on talent and health, the 49ers definitely look like they can win 14. The Bears look like they could definitely get 10, 11 wins. They can make the playoffs as a wild card team. And the NFC is weak, so we'll see what happens with that. But I do want to take us to our final segment of the day, where we are going to now rank all the NFL teams. I'm going to give the audience our breakdown of what our tiers are. We do have 7 tiers. I know 33rd team released theirs yesterday or a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And we did get the inspiration for that, so we do want to give that shout out and credit to them. But we do want to show where ours was different. So our tier 1 is our Super Bowl expectation team. That is similar. Our tier 2 is going to be AFC, NFC championship game. So we expect these teams to make it there. We wouldn't be surprised if they made it there. They're really, really good. Win playoff game tier. This is kind of stolen a little bit from Colin Cowherd, how we kind of, we expect them to win a playoff game. So we expect these teams to at least make the playoffs. More likely maybe to win a playoff game and then probably get eliminated. Wild card. So these are teams that are going to be towards the end of the year. They're standings watching who won, who lost, what's the tiebreakers. They might get in, they might not. These are going to be your 6th, 7th seeds normally. Middling. So that means these are teams that seem directionless to us. They seem like, what are you guys doing? It could be an issue at quarterback. It could be an issue with the rest of the roster. For whatever reason, they seem like middling teams to us. These are going to be your, probably 6 to 9 win teams, maybe 9 win teams. So somewhere in that
Yeah.
kind of range, around the 500 or slightly below range.
Mm-hmm.
Our tier 6 is going to be our bright future teams. This is also how 33rd team ranked theirs. These are teams that could have a bright future for whatever reason. Good rookies, guys that have stepped up. They might have, potentially in the middle of a rebuild and again, right to the middle of it. And then our bottom tier teams. These are going to be our Caleb Williams teams competing for number 1 overall picks. What is this roster? It's a dumpster fire. People either just got fired or people are about to be fired. So let's get into it. I'll start. My tier, we can go tier to tier back to back. So my tier 1, I have the Bengals, Chiefs, Niners, and Bills. And this is not in any particular order. We're not saying, our number 1 team is that, but this is just as a collective, these guys make up tier 1. Bengals, Chiefs, Niners, Bills. Again, that just kind of makes the most sense. They're the most complete rosters. 3 of the 4 teams have superstars at quarterback. The Niners are the deepest team in the league. So that just seems to make the most sense. And the Niners have been in 3 of the last 4 NFC championship games. The Chiefs, I don't really need to give a speech on. Bills,
Right.
Bills are Bills, Bengals are Bengals. Who's your Super Bowl expectation teams?
Yeah, bro. My list is not much different from yours here. So again, I got Chiefs, Eagles, Niners, Bengals, and Bills there.
Makes sense. Okay, again, kind of just straightforward.
Yeah,
this is where I think we get a little bit of difference here. Tier 2, these are our championship teams. I have the Eagles, Cowboys, Jets. Jets made the big trade for Aaron Rodgers. I think that elevates that roster a lot. I have a lot of faith in Robert Saleh. He's a former Niners defensive coordinator. Dude's a great guy. Hard root against him. They got a decent receiving core. They have Breece Hall coming back, and I think he's going to get that defense more towards. I think they're around the middle of the pack, but keep them there, maybe not even a little bit better. Cowboys, they're still, again, another really deep team. They still have Dak Prescott. They still have CeeDee Lamb. And then the Eagles, they lost. The reason I don't have the Eagles in the top is because they did lose a lot of pieces. They're going to be relying a lot on rookies this year. Rookies do kind of hit that rookie wall towards the end of the year. It's their first year in the league. They're used to 10 to 13 games, not 17. And they just go through a lot. They're not a lot, with the NFL draft, they're not able to fully prepare their bodies for football shape. So that's why I have them in tier 2. What is your tier 2?
So tier 2, I kind of went a little bit of a different route than you regarding the NFC, because I truly think it's just the Eagles and Niners up here, right? And then everyone else. I know you're high on the Cowboys. I'm high on them, not as high. So therefore, in tier 2, I only have the Jets for the same reason that you said. Aaron Rodgers comes into town. The roster is full of talent right now. See what happens. And then a sleeper pick, I have the Chargers, which I feel like this happens every season. People put Chargers up top and they flop. But at some point, it has to hit.
You're just ignoring the 27-0.
No, exactly. Well, hey, I'm gonna spin that and say they were up 27-0. They should have won that game, and then I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Hey, all I'm gonna say, ask Atlanta what happened to them. They were up 28-3, and what happened? They disappeared into obscurity after that.
It's a curse. It's a curse.
It's a curse.
But we got Herbert there.
And also that sound. Do you hear that ringing noise? That's the sound of all the Cowboys fans that are going to be in the comments or DMing you about how terrible you are at being able to spot talent.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it's your notifications going off.
You're the worst, dude. You are a clown. You're from Clown Town. All this stuff, man.
You've never seen a Cowboys game. You don't know nothing about these 5 or whatever. Moving on to tier 3. These are should make the playoffs. Like these teams, we can almost guarantee are going to be in the playoffs, and they should win a playoff game again, barring some weird thing in their season. For me, I have the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's back. They got a better receiving core room. I'm not as high on them as you are and some other people, but I still think it's a good group. And they got a new offensive coordinator. I think you did mention it was the guy from Georgia. So if they throw the ball around a lot and use Lamar to scramble on as he needs, it keeps him healthier. And I think I got a lot more faith in that team then. The Chargers and the Jaguars, again, I think they did add some good pieces, but I still just think I need to see more consistency from the Jaguars. I need to see you do it again. Because remember happening, I think it was 2018 with Blake Bortles, where they made the AFC Championship game and then fell off the face of the earth. So I'm not saying that's just going to happen. You have Trevor Lawrence. I just want to see you do it again. That's all I ask. Same thing with Chargers. I hear all this hype every year. Herbert's so great. This team's so stacked. Keelan Allen, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and then they just never they disappear. I don't know what happens to them. I don't watch enough Chargers games to know why, to have that answer, but it just seems to happen every year. So they're my should make the playoffs, might win a playoff game. That's my tier 3. What about you?
Cowboys fans, you guys should be happy here. This is where you all pop up. I have the Cowboys, I have the Ravens, Jaguars, Lions, and then Seahawks. Again, for the NFC, I still think it's the Eagles, Niners, and everyone else. I will not be surprised if the Seahawks snag a wild card spot there, like how they did last season. Jaguars, same thing, right? Like they're on the up and coming. I still think I need one more good season out of them to put them in tier 2, even though there were few plays short of being the Chiefs last year in the playoffs. So I'm really, really high on them too. The Lions, as of right now, should win the NFC North. So that's why I put them there. And then Ravens kind of been my like sleeper team. I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan. And they signed some other core pieces too for that offense. Like you said, they have that new offensive coordinator coming from Georgia. So I'm also high on them too.
Yeah. And I think, and honestly, you got to put this, when we're giving these rankings, you have to kind of put them in context too. If the Jaguars make the playoffs, I mean, they more than like, and they make it in tier 3 as you have them as well. I believe that. No, you have them in tier 4, correct?
Who? Jaguars?
Yeah.
I have Jaguars in tier 3.
Yeah. I mean, you still got to think in the context is, you won the division. You won the division. You made it as a division winner, and then you had a chance to win it, playoff game. I mean, that's still a great season, especially when you're a team that's you're in year 2 of Doug Peterson. You're in year 3, I believe, of Trevor Lawrence. And you're still in the middle of, you're close to the end of putting it together, but you're right on the cusp of being a potential powerhouse, especially in the AFC. That's tough to do.
Yep.
On that same note, I kind of did wish I moved the Lions up, but the reality is I do kind of have them still in this kind of tier 4, which we put as the wild card team should be competing towards the end. Mm-hmm. Well, I still do think the Lions win the division for the NFC North because of the other teams in that division. They're still going to be staying watching towards the end. I wouldn't be surprised if, the Packers are still there. The Bears might be there. Who knows what the Vikings going to do now after what they just traded away, but they still have a lot of solid pieces. So I think they're going to be staying watching towards the end, probably come away at the division at the end. I also have in there the Giants, the Seahawks, the Dolphins, the Broncos, and the Saints. The big ones from there that might surprise people, Dolphins were 1 Tua injury away from who knows what. And I don't know if you guys saw what Skylar Thompson looked last year against the Bills. It wasn't really fun to watch. We still have the Broncos. Again, I don't know what Sean Payton's going to be with Russell Wilson. Do they figure out the beginning half of the year? Do they figure out towards the end? Do they figure it out at all? Giants, did you progress? Did you pull back? So those are the big ones that I think are going to maybe catch someone off guard for tier 4. What about you for your tier 4?
Yeah, tier 4 was kind of a tough one. Kind of thought of these as like wild card / just like bubble teams here. To your point, I have the Dolphins here again because Tua, as we can see, sometimes not on the field all the time. So I actually am a pretty big Tua fan. I like him. I think the offense runs pretty smooth with him in there. But again, like, is he going to stay healthy? And I didn't do enough research to see like who might be his backup quarterback. Like, I know we were talking about this before the show, bro. Like, they should definitely invest in a pretty solid backup. You know what I mean? They had Skylar Thompson playing last year at some point, like in I think in the wild card round, right?
It was something like that. They played the Bills. I think it was the division,
division round or something like that.
In that snowy game, and he looked all right in a couple bursts, but the majority of it, there was a long stretches where you're like they just couldn't move the ball. So we talked before about Andy Dalton. This would have been a great spot for Andy Dalton.
That's actually true.
And again, we don't hope anyone gets hurt. We really do. I mean, I love Tua. I love that fact. It's nice to have a left-handed quarterback in the NFL again. That's cool. He's a very nice dude, from my understanding. But if he does get hurt, you want to have a good insurance. I think Andy Dalton would have been a great pickup there instead of, being in, where did he go? Indianapolis, I think it was.
Yes.
So
no, wait, no, he's with the Panthers.
Panthers, you're right. Bryce Young's got to beat him out, even though he's taking control of the entire offense. First day apparently.
Yeah, it's weird.
Uh,
But yeah, so like your point, we hope Tua stays healthy. You also wonder too with his history of head, injuries. Gets
yeah,
one more, it's probably
yeah,
gonna be out for a longer period of time to any like precaution, right? So
yeah.
they need to invest in a solid backup there. He also had the Giants here, mostly because the Eagles are probably gonna win that division. You have Cowboys pretty high. Giants could probably sneak in another wild card spot like how I did last season. I wasn't too sure about this one, but I'm giving Sean Payton the benefit of the doubt. Bronco Country, let's ride. You might be able to sneak into a wild card here this season. Who knows? Maybe him and Russ Wilson have like a happy marriage. That could probably it's like either they can go like wild card or again like a
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 win team. Like there's
I feel like
no
to me
in
they definitely
between.
have like the most like I believe the term is palpability. Like they could either be bottom feeder or they could be, what we had them as could have been a tier 3 or a tier 2 team. You just don't know how quickly that's going to click with Sean Payton, and Russell Wilson. I know Sean Payton's an offensive genius. I know Russell Wilson clearly has talent still, but
See what
we'll see
happens.
what happens.
Um, I'm
Moving
sorry.
to,
I have three more. Just
oh
real
my bad, I
fast.
apologize.
I have Saints. Only because their division is kind of weak too. The NFC South. I mean, I probably should put them in tier 3 because they probably will win the division. And then the Rams. Maybe they're fully healthy by this point in the whole season. They should maybe sneak into a wild card. And then obviously sleeper pick. I gotta go with the hometown team, the Bears. If they really do truly win 10 games, 10 or maybe 11, best case scenario, guys, they should be there too for a wild card spot.
Yeah, I can see that too. I had them a little bit lower in a different category, but we'll get to that in a second.
Hmm.
Moving to tier 5. This is our middling. These are our average teams. These are, if you remember those Cowboys teams that went 8-8 every year, these are those teams for us. Where's the future? For me, it's the Patriots. Again, they can't get a skill position player to save their lives. We don't, those rumors are moving off of Mac Jones already.
Mm-hmm.
The defense should still be at least average, but where's the offense? Green Bay, what does Jordan Love do? Titans, what's your future at quarterback? We know you got Ryan Tannehill this year. Is Will Levis the answer? Who are they throwing the ball to? How much longer can Derrick Henry continue to carry this entire team on his back? And that defense, again, I think they have a solid defense, but it's a bunch of usually not extremely well-known players. So again, where's the future? Rams, again, how long does Stafford have? You got Cooper Kupp, but who's the rest of the team? You got Sean McVay, but Sean McVay can't go catch a ball out there. He can't go, play safety. He's still got to stand on the sidelines. He likes to come onto the field sometimes.
Right.
So what's their future? Raiders, is Jimmy Garoppolo the answer in Las Vegas? Is Josh McDaniel the answer in Las Vegas? I know they had one of the worst defenses last year. They kept blowing leads. Did they really address it, or are they just kind of assuming the guys they signed last year, the Chandler Jones, are going to figure it out, and it was just a bad year and they're going to bounce back now? Then Vikings, especially after the moves today, what is the direction of this team? You just gave up your star running back. You just got rid of your pass rusher. You got great receivers. Is Kirk Cousins ever going to, rise above average? Is he ever going to be beyond a top 15 quarterback? I think at this point in his career, we know what he is.
Right.
So what's the future in Minnesota?
No, I think that's a solid list. Just for the sake of time, I'm gonna go through myself. It's kind of fast. I kind of have the same teams here. I have the Browns, Packers, Vikings, Steelers, Falcons, Raiders, and Pats in that middle tier 5 range. Basically for all the same reasons that you said. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's really a shocker here.
Yeah, I forgot to include the Browns on there. I'm going to include them into that middling package as well. Did Deshaun Watson figure it out?
The Browns are so weird. Like they always have such high hopes, and then stuff does.
It's just so much those teams that you look at them and you look at the roster on paper and you go, "Wow, these dudes are loaded. This is a great Madden team." And then you watch them play, or you just see the record and you're like, "How the hell are they 6-10?
How is this happening?
Like, is everyone healthy? They're healthy and they're 6-10. What the heck?"
Yeah.
So weird. I mean, I think it's just one of those things. I'm sure if we brought up, talk to a Browns fan, I'm sure they can give us every reason under the sun, and we get to the solution. But I still have them in middling.
Yep.
Right future is our tier 6. These are teams that either in the middle of the rebuild, just started a rebuild, had a great draft, or it could be some of the variation. We are going to move a little quicker again because we are getting close to time. I have the Falcons, I have the Steelers, I have the Colts, the Texans, the Panthers, and I put the Bears down here actually. I think they're getting to the middle
My
of the
heart
rebuild.
is broken, bro.
Huh?
That my
heart's
heart is
broken?
broken. No,
I mean, again, I got it's Ryan Poles' what, second draft?
yeah,
I
no,
believe.
it's totally
Yeah,
fair. That's
you know,
fair.
I still have a lot of questions for them at skill position. I think DJ Moore is an awesome pickup. We need to see what Justin Fields finally becomes with some people around him. You know, but I still think there's a little, you know, decent amount of holes in that roster. I think some of those rookies you guys drafted are going to step up, but I think you're on the right path to becoming again a potential playoff, you know, perennial playoff team.
That's fair.
Pittsburgh, I love the pieces around. Honestly, personally, I'm not super high on Kenny Pickett, but I love the rest of that team. Falcons, I love the offense, don't love the defense, but again, they got a lot of young studs up there. Texans, great draft. Colts could be a great draft. We'll see what happens at quarterback. But what is your tier 6?
I got the Colts, Texans, the Titans, and the Panthers. Basically, you already said it. All teams with it's actually kind of fun. I think all these teams are going to have rookie quarterbacks starting for them. They all got selected this season, this past draft, the 2023 draft. And yeah, I mean, it kind of depends how things shake up. I actually was pretty close to putting Titans on my lowest tier just because I'm not high on Will Levis. But hey, kind of want to show him a little bit of grace there, and maybe he kind of proves me wrong. But yeah, I think a lot of these teams, especially the Texans, are pretty high on, at least for future years, based off their just past 2023 draft. But yeah, that kind of rounds out my tier 6.
Yep. And then we'll move right to the bottom tier. These are our worst teams. These are the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. These are, you're probably not going to watch a whole lot of their games. I have the Cardinals because, again, where's the roster? I know, oh, geez. Kyler Williams is going to be, you can tell it's getting late in the day. I know Kyler Williams is, going to miss about 4 or 5 weeks. DeAndre Hopkins is getting up there in age. He's already requested trade. Buda Baker. We've kind of discussed him a little bit before. So, Buccaneers, again, a lot of their talents kind of left with Tom Brady. You have Baker Mayfield starting at quarterback. I don't even think they took a quarterback in this draft, did they?
No.
So is that the long-term plan? You're gonna have Baker Mayfield?
The short-term plan is tanking.
Yeah,
the long-term plan is Clay Williams.
It's that or it's Kyle Trask, who they drafted a few years ago. They're expecting him to have soaked up all the knowledge from Tom Brady, and then also had Washington on there. Again, is Sam Howell the future? Maybe. Again, I like Sam Howell personally, but I see him as more of a high-end backup, low-end starter kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Scary Terry's there. And then they got a solid defensive line, but not really much beyond it. So if your strength is defensive line, one receiver, and a question mark at quarterback, I wouldn't be surprised if you had one of the worst records in football, which might end up being a blessing if they do get Caleb Williams. I mean, that team automatically becomes
pretty good.
Scary team to think about a little bit there. But
yeah, then the NFC East will be loaded.
Yeah, who's your bottom feeders?
I actually have the same teams, man. Not sure what the Cardinals are end up doing. I mean, who knows? I feel like out of this bunch, that's the team that probably has as much upside just because of Kyler Murray there. If he comes back week 5, 6 healthy, like maybe they kind of right the ship there. And I mean, I don't think they compete in that division because it's pretty tough.
And they do have a rookie coach. It's a defensive coordinator from.
I forgot about that from the Eagles,
so
right?
They don't have. Oh geez, again, it's late in the day.
Cliff
Kingsbury. He took off to Taiwan and then came back, and I think he took a job at. He took the job at the Rams. I think he took a job.
It was like a QB job, right? Like QB coach.
Yeah, I think it might have been that. So.
And Bucks, who knows what they're doing? I think they're trying to tank too. Like if they really want to go with Baker Mayfield, fine. Yeah. And then Washington, like you already said, Sam Howell's there. They have Scary Terry, pretty decent defense, although they're trying to move away from Chase Young, which is probably fair because he hasn't really been healthy at all for his first 4 seasons. So
I do want to comment this because I don't want Washington fans seeing this and getting on our case. I did see before with Deron Payne, they did the same thing. They declined his 5th-year option and then signed him to a new deal before he hit free agency. So
Mm.
I guess their expectation was they wanted to pay him maybe not as much as what the new deal or the 5th year option was going to be, or something to that kind of variation. But I saw a couple of fans from Washington did comment that. So I at least wanted to bring that
That's
to
fair.
attention.
That's fair.
So,
But yeah, that ends my tier 7 in my list.
So I think that kind of pretty much covers it for this podcast this week. If you guys agree with our tiers, if you guys disagree, please let us know in the comments what you think. We love to hear from you. And don't forget to like, subscribe. We post these every week. Don't feel free to let us know what you think we can grow, what you like that we do, what you don't like that we do. We are open to all criticism so far. But that will wrap it up for this week, guys. Again, it's been Brendan Ford. It's been Emmett Sport on the Rational Football League show. We will see you guys again next week.
See you guys.